Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
From the Battle Hymn of the Republic for this Independence Day weekend. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free, while God is marching on. Happy 4th of July Independence Day weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance, right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Good morning. Oh, good morning. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers, including Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call, get on the route service today, 734-6969. And our friends at Valley Wide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. You going fishing? Well, they got a great fishing department right there. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch. Right now, let's have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
And you are the man. Do it with a flair. Do it with a feeling. Do it with a passion this morning.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, man, that's all right. That was great. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Time for the weather forecast, brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. My goodness, they have everything to make your house a home. Hey, by the way, they've divided the days up into where they have different days for different mentions. And let's take a look here real quick. And, today is We Can Do It Wednesday. Yes, we can. Find 3 rooms that you love. Write down what draws you to those rooms. Find out what they have in common so you can use that in your decorating. There you go. Cheney Flooring and Home Design. 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. 678-6945. And right now, here is the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch as we are officially into July, which, by the way, tonight is the Idaho Roll Call Monument. How's the weather going to be as we move towards that event? It's going to be sunny and hot. It is going to be a little bit windy, but it's going to kind of be like being in a blow dryer. Out of the west, right around 15 miles an hour. Sunny, high of 95, tonight low of 60. Tomorrow, pretty much the same. Partly to mostly sunny skies, high of 96. Winds dying down slightly out of the west, right around 6 miles an hour. Expecting overnight low near 61. Tomorrow, just photocopy Thursday. Saturday, pretty much the same. Partly to mostly sunny skies, high of 96 with an overnight low of 65. And then for Sunday, woo! Maybe cooling down to about 90. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
I like it, especially that Sunday forecast. Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. What's going on?
Good morning, Mr. Bell. I would like to wish my bride a happy birthday today.
You mean to tell me that Donna Mass is celebrating a birthday on this first day of July, and all the cake, all the ice cream, all the candles with the fire department standing by, all the fanfare, and all the foo-faroo, right?
I ain't going there. I got to live with this young lady.
Happy birthday, Donna.
I'd like to wish her happy birthday. She's been a blessing, and I've never had life any better.
Hey, listen, real quick, George. Now, instead of, are you going to call in later and talk about the roll call?
I can, or I can do it now.
Well, I'll hit it now. You call back a little bit later on this morning, and we'll hit it again. But we'll leave this in honor of Donna's birthday. And by the way, George, you might as well tell the world, tell everybody about that very expensive gift that you bought her for her birthday.
She's got me. What more does she want?
Thanks for calling, George.
You're welcome. I'll take her out to a couple of dinners.
See you later, buddy. Thanks a lot. Donna Mass, congratulations. It is your birthday. Have a great day. Hey, Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. And I'd been telling you, a guy called me the other day and he says, man, I wished I'd have taken your advice. I went and turned my air conditioner on and poof, and nothing worked. He said, I wish I'd have checked it out. Well, I told you the heat was coming. Well, they've got all your air filters, everything right there for your heating and air conditioning needs at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. They throw open the doors at 7:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, where they provide warm winters and cool summers at Ramsey Heating and Electric. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Don't forget Valleywide Home and Ranch. I mean, man, the fair season is here, and the 4-H'ers are finishing up on their projects, getting them all ready to go. And if you've got a 4-H card, don't forget you can get a 10% discount at Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. They've got everything. And by the way, they got your show clothing too. Your boots, pants, shirts, everything over at Valleywide Home and Ranch. And the bug spray and the fly spray. We were sitting outside yesterday and the bugs and the flies, holy smokes, I thought I had molasses all over me. Anyway, go over to Valleywide Home and Ranch. Tons and tons of fly and bug spray at Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
You know, today is the first day of July, and guess what?
What's that?
The price of gas automatically goes up today.
Yeah.
7 cents a gallon.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so thrilled. I'm just absolutely doing cartwheels and bounding across the lawn with little pirouettes that I've got to pay more money, probably on a fill-up for my pickup, $3 more, just to go along with the gas increase price.
Well, that's only if you can afford to buy the license plate for it now.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. Everything's going up.
Also today.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't go get any gas yesterday or anything. I didn't think anything of it, but we knew it was coming.
Well, we know it's coming, but then on the other hand, we knew that we had to make some reparations on our infrastructure with the bridges, the roads, everything here in the state of Idaho. So it's not like it just snuck up on us and somebody opened the door and said, surprise! No, it was coming, and here it is. Now we got to pay for it.
Well, I want to commend Scott Bedke and some of the other fine leaders, Dean Cameron, for looking out for us.
Yeah.
Some people would say, well, don't look out for us anymore because we can't afford it. But we have to come up with these things to maintain our status.
Yeah, we do. And I just hope that we're not going to have a double-barreled shotgun pointed at us when the feds come up with an increased taxation also.
That would be a double whammy, and, you know, the thing of it is with the gas tax increase, it's going to be, the most hurtful is the trucking industry.
Well, it is the trucking industry, I agree with you, but you know, the moms and dads that have to take and go to work every day and try to take the kids to the shoe store or maybe even celebrate a little bit with an ice cream cone, it affects everybody with higher costs of money that they don't have in their pocket.
Well, that's what you call a double whammy. You know? The price of gas is more, and the trucker has to add more money.
Yeah, it's inflation. Inflation, that's all it is. Hey, Keith, God bless you, man. I got to get a commercial break in here, my friend. Thank you for your call, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You have a wonderful day and a 4th of July.
And I appreciate that. I'm going to ask the age-old question here in just a moment. An age-old question. Why? Why did the chicken, or in this case the rooster, cross the road? Ponder that for just a moment. Yeah, well, we'll talk about it in a minute. Thanks, Keith. God bless you, man. Hey, don't forget Denny's Restaurant, 611 Oberlin and Burley, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. And Thomas and Terry, the whole crew, what a respectful, very nice staff. And they really are good at serving you, your family when you go in there. My goodness, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The menu choices are phenomenal. You're going to love them, absolutely. Oh, and by the way, they got a new location, too, at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. I love breakfast, and that's my favorite meal of the day. They've got the best right there at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland and Burley, as I said, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Oh, by the way, you need equipment to get a job done. You need maybe some loaders, or maybe you need some excavators, whatever. I know a place where you can go and lease the equipment. They've got the equipment to get the job done, any job done right, and that's Berry Equipment and Rental. Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, bit my tongue, that hurts. South Lincoln and Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Holy smokes, they've got great deals on all kinds of items, all kinds of equipment. Don't pass this up. You can talk in the Burley store to Nick and Will James, the whole crew serving you with all your equipment needs. And the Walker mowers, too. Don't forget about that. Berry Equipment and Rental in Twin Falls, Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Why did the chicken, like I said, or in this case, the rooster, cross the road? Last night, I saw a rooster commit suicide. And my lovely bride was with me, and we were driving through the town of Hanson on our way home with a 4-horse trailer, ton pickup, and just going well below the speed limit. But this rooster that was on the other side of the road from where he took up residence was standing there watching me come on, and I happened to catch his eyes. It was kind of like our eyes met each other's, and for eternity that eyesight was going to be emblazoned in my mind, because that rooster stood there on the side of the road, and all of a sudden I get right there by him, and this ditzy rooster decides to run across the highway. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was the last time that rooster is going to run anywhere. My wife screamed and said, "Don't hit him!" Now, how do you swerve a great big ton pickup with horses inside and a 4-horse trailer when there is traffic coming in the other lane, and there is nothing but a great big bunch of traffic on the other side parked at an adult beverage location, and my wife screams, "Don't hit the rooster"? Well, really, when you think about it, I didn't hit the rooster. He was a kamikaze rooster that decided to commit suicide, and he died with his head held high, which really was his undoing, because I think that's what clunked the transmission. But anyway, he went ka-thunk, and then all of a sudden, as we drove on through, I said, "Deanne, I knew the obvious. I said, "Deanne, did we hit that rooster?" And she said, "I think so. All I can see is feathers flying." I felt bad about it. I really did. And to the owner of your rooster, if you're listening this morning, A, it might not be a bad idea to not let free-range, free-roaming roosters on Highway 30. And B, my apologies for your loss. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I do. I apologize, but he had suicide on his mind last night when he took off in front of me, and there was really nothing I could do. I'm innocent, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Don't forget BASF with our dear friend Ron Ellis and all the field men, all the crop advisors, everybody helping you with the best in chemicals for your crops. Excellent research from BASF with products like Preaxor and products like Endura and absolutely the products that are going to help you grow better crops and take care of various issues like white mold in the potatoes, powdery mildew in your sugar beets. Please contact your field men and crop advisors today for products from BASF, committed to successful agriculture, and our dear friend Ron Ellis at 431-6776. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I know you're probably going to chew me out for killing the chicken, but I couldn't help it. Chicken lovers everywhere. I'll make it up to you somehow. 4th of July celebration in Rupert is going on now. Right now. It started yesterday, the 89th annual Rupert 4th of July celebration with a salute to our troops. Now, today, all the food booths open at 11 o'clock, entertainment in the park at 6, featuring performer Soul Patch, and the carnival's going on. Holy smokes! Every day a fun-filled day with the Rupert 4th of July celebration. And later on this morning, we're going to have Jason Gibbons with the celebration on our program, talking about the Rupert 4th of July celebration. Thank you very much. Did you hear what happened in Oklahoma City? A federal judge, ordered the Oklahoma State Capitol to take down a beautiful display of the Ten Commandments. Now, I know a little bit about this because I have been there. I have been at the Oklahoma City State Capitol, and I've seen the display of the Ten Commandments. It is extremely tasteful and extremely well done. Well, they ordered that the Ten Commandments no longer be there, and it has to be taken down. And yes, it's true. My blood was boiling. The display of the Ten Commandments at Oklahoma City was put up with private funds, private money. And at least 80% of the people, a guesstimate from those that live back there, are extremely supportive of keeping the Ten Commandments right there at the Capitol grounds. You know, and I know I'm going to take some heat for this, but isn't it time for a revolution in this country to get back to the basics and get back to decency and honor? Oh, the liberal lefties, those eat and chew gravel crowd, they are upset when you mention that word revolution. But think about it. Little by little, inch by inch, step by step, like an old Abbott and Costello routine, they're taking away everything from us, the majority. And I'll say it again. I'm not afraid of that word. I believe it is time for a revolution in this country to put things back the way they should be and right the ship for decency and honor. Now, I personally think the folks in Oklahoma City, or anywhere for that matter, that this happens, should tell the federal judge to chew gravel. I really mean that. Fight them. Never take it down. You say you want to fight? Bring it on. We'll give it to you. Majority rules. And I'll bet that if that push came to shove, that monument, that very, very tasteful monument of the Ten Commandments would stay. I really do feel that way. What are your thoughts? Should we keep kowtowing to these people, keep putting our tail between our legs and saying, oh, okay, whatever you say, we'll take it down? Why, we certainly don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, do we? Do you really care anymore? I've had it. You know, I honestly believe the day is coming that some group of knotheads, of which there are many, will tell us that we can't fly our flags on Independence Day weekend. There are those that probably will say, well, you know, you're not a Christian station and you don't have a Christian talk show, but you allude to God and your belief and prayer and everything else, and we want that stuff. I think those days are coming. I really do. And I know personally I'm not going to change. And what are your thoughts about this, or do you care? I really care. This is a subject that bothers me. That's for years and years, that display of the Ten Commandments in Oklahoma City has been so tastefully put up and honored by most. Now they have to cater to a very small minority and a judge that has the IQ of a bicycle wheel to take it down. What are your thoughts? Give me a call. Oh my, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call that should be coming in, I also want to remind you about your hearing. And Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, really helped me with mine. I had a little problem, and I think she has corrected the problem so it's not exacerbated and made worse. I'll tell you what, right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room, the number to call, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, 312-0957. Now, if you're having a hearing problem and you're going, what did he say, Martha? Then you better have your hearing checked, because hearing loss is not normal. Call today, 312-0957, and make a hearing screening appointment today. Right now, here's the Capital Press Ag Minute.
Today's Ag Minute brought to you by the Capital Press, the West Ag Weekly.
Potato growers planted 1.9% more acres this season nationwide, according to new numbers from the USDA's National Agriculture Stats Service. USDA estimated in its June 30th report that the U.S. potato farmers planted 955,300 fall acres this season, which is up from 2014. Idaho acreage increased from 321,000 acres in 2014 to 325,000 acres this season, according to the report. USDA estimates Washington State growers planted 170,000 acres, which is up from last season. Oregon growers held steady at 39,000 acres, and California growers planted 7,500 acres. For the Capital Press Ag Minute, I am Raul Peña.
Oh, Raul, thank you so much.
For news and information, turn to the West Ag Weekly, the Capital Press, and CapitalPress.com.
Yes, sirree, Bob. Raul Peña. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with Dr. Christine Pickup. What a nice lady. What a knowledgeable lady. Right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, 312-0957. You call for a hearing screening today. Hey, by the way, the Silver State Stampede's coming up. We'll have a little word for them.
Nevada's oldest rodeo, the Silver State Stampede, thunders into Elko July 9th, 10th, and 11th for family entertainment at its best. This PRCA-sanctioned rodeo brings you the thrill of rodeo riders going head-to-head in one of the world's toughest sports, rodeo. The action kicks off on Thursday with the annual kickoff party, including a tri-tip dinner, mutton busting, the Old West bronc riding, and dancing to the music of the Jeff Palmer Band. Things heat up on Friday and Saturday with PRCA rodeo action, the Ring of Fear, mutton busing, and all the fun, music, and dancing you can handle. And don't forget on Saturday, it's tough enough to wear pink. Pick up your tickets today at Roy's, the J.M. Capriola Company, the Boot Barn, IFA, or the Elko Chamber Office. Nevada's oldest rodeo, the Silver State Stampede, thundering into Elko July 9th, 10th, and 11th. Family entertainment at its very best.
Oh, yeah, we'll be down at Elko next weekend for the Silver State Stampede. Come on, get on the telephone, give me a call. I was reading some related stories from yesterday, and now we know that 50 FBI command centers have been set up for this 4th of July weekend. Where are they? Where are the command centers? Where are they with the FBI? Are they one in every state? Are there multiple command centers in various locations? I mean, where are they? I don't know. But it's absolutely despicable to think that our president, I watch the news, and if somebody can tell me I'm wrong on this, please do so, because I want to know. I want to get the right information. I don't think our president has spoken out on this at all, nor has our illustrious Joe Biden. Nothing going into the safety and sanctity of perhaps what's going to happen on Independence Day weekend with these absolute horror and terror groups, ISIS, here in this country. That's why they set up the 50 FBI command centers. And in a related story this morning, and this goes under the terminology of despicable, and I really hope some group takes this group on tonight. I do this. I mean this sincerely. I don't mind if there's an altercation over this. Really, I don't. Tonight in New York City, in a park, a group called Disarm is going to be gathering to burn United States flags. And they're going to be gathering while they're burning all the United States flags they can get their hands on. They're going to be denouncing our military and denouncing our police forces. Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that a great pre-Independence Day, great way to celebrate America, the land of the free and the home of the brave? Isn't that wonderful? Well, you know something? This group is so anti-America, and they're looking for all the publicity just before Independence Day. To tell you the truth, I honestly wish I was back there and get a bunch of cowboys, bulldoggers, team ropers, bull riders, you name it, and pick up our favorite Louisville Slugger baseball bat and join the fray. This is sickening. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, if this continues, one day they'll just institute Sharia law in America, and all this free speech and all of these alternative lifestylers, that's going to come to a quick end.
Let me ask you something, Randy. Honestly, I've known you for a long time, and I think that there's others that would fall into the category I'm going to ask you about right now. Okay, let's assume you're back there. Let's assume that you're a veteran. Let's assume that the 4th of July and Independence Day means a lot to you because of perhaps buddies that you served in our military with did not come home other than in a box. And you see these miscreants, these absolute destitute of any kind of common sense people standing there burning all the United States flags and denouncing our military, denouncing our police forces. It would be pretty hard not to join in and just let them know that you'd like to help alter their personality.
Of course, these people only understand one thing. They are just short animals, or they are animals. They don't appreciate a thing. They're uninformed. They're ingrates. This kind of thing is, in order to understand America, you have got to have some sort of an understanding of the history of America. These people, either they don't care, or they just don't know any better. I tell you, you just wonder what they do know and what they don't know. But people are just so careless
Yeah, but you know, Randy, name another country real quick. Caller number 2, I'll be there in a minute. Name another country where you could do this kind of idiocy and imbecilic action of burning our flag and denouncing our military and our police forces without having to look over your shoulder at somebody that's going to lead you away and throw you in a paddy wagon. I understand free speech. I understand the freedoms that we have, but also I understand mine, and I understand how much I love this country. I understand how much I miss some of the buddies that served for us over in Vietnam that didn't come home. I understand that I don't have the personality to stand by and let some creep, some absolute vermin burn the flag and condemn our military. I can't handle it, Randy.
Well, I tell you what, we keep thinking that by being Christ-like, by turning the other cheek, so to speak, or we forgive them, we always forgive them, which is extremely a good thing. But you see, somehow we've got to be a Christian soldier, I guess, and we've got to actually stop this onslaught of insanity, because we do have free will, free agency.
Yep.
You know, God's not going to do it for us. We've got to do it ourselves.
Randy, God bless you. I appreciate your call. Thank you so much. Caller number 2, I'll be right there. Don't forget Dixon Oil, 602 South 2nd in Rupert. They've been in business since 1951. Holy cow. And they really know how to give you the best service. You better believe it. All your gases, fuel, heating, propane needs, everything. Daryl and the crew at Dixon Oil wish you a very, very happy, fun-filled Independence Day, 4th of July weekend. Dixon Oil in Rupert. Really good folks. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Zeb. I'm right with you on going with a group to jerking off somebody's tail, but the sickening part about the way our country's going in the justice system is the folks that show up that say, you're not going to burn my flag, you're not going to disgrace my friends, my family, our fallen soldiers. When we lift a hand, our justice system is gonna hammer and hang out to dry the people that do that.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you totally, because that is the crutch that these other groups use. They know that they're a sanctified little bunch of vermin. Nobody can touch them. Nobody can stop them. But I've reached the point, you know something? In a revolution for our country, some of the vermin has got to be swept out of the front of the house.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It's just a sad part that our hands are tied when it comes to being able to stand up and say, this ain't happening. You got to go through me and my 1,700 friends here to get it done.
Yeah,
I don't think our country will stand behind us doing that.
Yeah, and that's so tragic right now, because here we are on Independence Day weekend looking forward to the fireworks and the family and the ice cream and the getting together with the parades and saluting the red, white, and blue. And at the same time, we know that the FBI has set up command centers for terrorist attacks all across our country. And where, sir, is the president and vice president?
They're not standing with the common man that makes the world go round in this country, I'll tell you that.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for your call. God bless you. Thank you. I'm not going to apologize for this. My attitude is such that I think it's time to really take back this country. Oh, don't give me, well, the ballot box. Well, spirited debate. Well, we'll just sit and we'll try to talk to these people. I'm past that. I know I'm going to take heat saying that I might sanction violence or anything else, but how else are we going to get the country back the way it belongs? We're falling apart at the seams, and I dare you to tell me it's not. Because these idiots, these nincompoops, are absolutely doing what they want because they know they can get away with it. I mean, could you honestly sit there and watch these destitute of any brain people sitting there burning our flag and condemning America and damning the military and damning the police? Oh my, what a nice little function with a group called Disarm. I've had it. I've had it. I don't want to live under threats of maybe we have to call a terrorist center. I don't want to live under a threat of not being able to go to a parade and stand tall honoring our flag. Do you? I'm telling you. We've got to take this country back. These weak-kneed, absolutely worthless politicians back in Washington are not doing their job. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, I want to swing in a different direction a little bit. Last night I saw our White House, and I almost threw up. What the hell is going on? Is that real paint on there?
No, Helen, it's a lighting system. And it's a lighting system. Are you talking about the rainbow colors celebrating the gay, lesbian, and transgenders?
Yes, is that sweet?
No, it's not. I find it despicable, I find it sickening, and I find it pathetic that of all the things that this country has endured and all of our soldiers and everything else that have come back from fighting overseas with absolutely heinous wounds, losing arms and legs, did this government ever put forth the idea of having a red, white, and blue light for honoring this great country of America? No. They put it up in honor of distorted, abnormal sex, gay, lesbian, and transgenders, and I find it pathetic.
Well, I think not only you need to take your horse, your wagon, and the whole smear, go back there, clean up, and don't miss Washington, D.C.
Helen, do you agree with me that we've got to stand... Something's got to be done, Helen. It's way past time.
Amen. I agree with you 100%, but I'm kind of getting old, and I don't ride a horse, and I don't shoot a gun with a hoot.
Well,
but I would try.
I'll tell you what, you'd be like Wilford Brimley. You need to get one that carries a lot of ammo and then just kind of shoot and let it go.
Just stand there and go with it.
Okay. Helen, God bless you. Thanks.
Have a good
I tell you what, folks, I know I'll take criticism over this, but I don't care anymore. This country is honestly being loaded up in a manure wagon and taken down the road. We're not standing up for what's right in this country. I can't imagine what would have happened if somebody would have done these heinous acts against America 30, 40 years ago. Oh, wow. My dad, my uncles, and all of our friends that served in the military, there would have been a whole lot of black eyes in the area, none of which would have been on them. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We've lost our identity in this country. That's the problem. We've lost our identity, our personality, and our goals to succeed and still be the best. And we're letting garbage control our society. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, right behind Dr. Crane's office. And Nick Greenwell, physical therapist, and all the great physical therapists. I know all of them, and they are fantastic with all the sports medicine, exercises, hydrotherapy pool. And their main goal is to help you get back to being you. Make an appointment today. Call 678-1191. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, the best. The other day a friend of mine asked me, well, aren't you afraid that maybe they'll pull the plug on your show and everything? Well, first of all, for those that don't know this, I own this part of it. I mean, I'm paying a pretty healthy amount of money to put this program on every month. And all of a sudden, if I'm coerced or forced off the air, I'm not going to go without letting you know the truth as I see it. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, the people we elect to go back to Washington, D.C. What in the devil's wrong with them? We elect people to go back there to represent us. They don't do it.
Fred, right there is the whole problem. We elect these people, they come out and they give us their smiley face, they get out there on these podiums and they say, well, if I'm elected, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to support this, and I'm going to do that. That's a bunch of hogwash and a double-dip bucket, because it's not happening.
No, it's definitely not happening. This country's going to hell in the handbag fast.
You know, Fred, I so much respect you. And by the way, I think I heard somebody say that you're having a birthday real quick. Happy birthday, my dear friend.
Yeah, it's ways away.
All right. Well, now listen. All the things that you fought for in World War II, all the things that you stand tall for with our flag and ceremonies for our flag, you, of all people, must absolutely be furious with the way things are going in this country, and nobody seems to put a thumb down on it and try to stop it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it breaks my heart the way this country's going, Zan. It really does. I can't believe our nation's went to hell the way it has in this length of time. You think about the way it was after we won World War II, the patriotism that we have lost.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
God bless you, Fred. I appreciate it. I got to get a weather forecast in here, my dear friend. Thank you.
Have a good one.
God bless. Thank you.
Keep plugging.
I will, my friend. I'm not going to quit. Thank you. I think a lot of that man and his wife and others like him that fought for our freedom in World War II. And it just absolutely must tear their heart out to see and hear these stories every day of these worthless punks, of these absolute lowlifes that would burn the flag, stomp on it, dance on it, chant death to America and all this, after all their sacrifice. And especially, I was thinking this morning, as I was writing up some of the notes on my program, that some of my friends, Jerry and Larry and Jim, Bert, and others, that went overseas, they came home, but they came home in a box, and they gave everything they had to fight for you and I in this great country. It saddens me. It really does. Weather forecast right now brought to you by Mad River Laser. And, of course, they can do anything for all your business promotional needs. I mean, whether it's coffee mugs, whether it's jackets, whether it's caps, whether it's T-shirts, whether it's the buck knives with the personal engraving, they do it all at Mad River Laser with Nicole at 502 East Street in Rupert, 436-2293. Get a hold of them today, and they wish you and yours a very happy Independence Day weekend. And right now, here is the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zevith Ranch as we are officially into July, which, by the way, tonight is the Idaho Roll Call Monument. How's the weather going to be as we move towards that event? It's going to be sunny and hot. It is going to be a little bit windy, but it's going to kind of be like being in a blow dryer. Out of the west, right around 15 miles an hour. Sunny, high of 95. Tonight, low of 60. Tomorrow, pretty much the same. Partly to mostly sunny skies, high of 96. Winds dying down slightly out of the west, right around 6 miles an hour. Expecting an overnight low near 61. Tomorrow, just photocopy. Thursday, Saturday, pretty much the same. Partly to mostly sunny skies, high of 96 with an overnight low of 65. And then for Sunday, maybe cooling down to about 90. That's your weather forecast for Zevith Ranch.
Well, I never thought I'd cheer for 90, but I am. All right, thanks, Gina. Hey, weather forecast brought to you by Mad River Laser. I've got a lot of respect for this lady. She can do anything. What an artist she is, along with her staff at Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. These people that...
Doug, I'm going to ask you to speak up because it's not coming through real well. Wheels, turn him up just a little bit. Thanks. All right, go ahead.
These guys that don't like America, that think it's the worst nation that ever was put on this planet, and our policies and everything like that, let them go live in a country where they don't have the freedoms like they have here. Let them, if they don't like it, by God, get the hell out.
You know, and what you just said, Doug, is my feeling. I have lost my patience. I mean, I know I'm an old, cranky, you-know-what now at 67 years of age, but I don't apologize for it. I'm not going to apologize for it because this country, the United States of America, has given me so much. Now, when I say given, I worked for what I have, but it provided so much in return. I am so proud of this country, and I am so sick and tired of leeches, and that's what they are, leeches that want everything handed to them on a silver platter, and then they turn around and bite the hand that feeds them, and then politicians that haven't got the common sense that God gave a goat. I'm fed up with it, and it's got to change.
It does. I mean, you said the U.S. give to you. What the U.S. has given to us is the freedom to pursue a lifestyle, a livelihood.
That's right.
Like it's giving you the freedom to go around and announce rodeos because, you've got a great voice and you can do that stuff. It's given me the freedom to be an entrepreneur, be a business. I haven't worked for a wage, for a paycheck in probably 30 years. But I've always worked for myself. I've always made a living.
But you've worked.
Exactly.
That's the whole key. I am so sick and tired of hearing this gimme, gimme, I want crowd. Well, as far as I'm concerned, those days are over, and I don't want one penny, not one Abraham Lincoln-headed penny, going to help these people that are too damn lazy to get off the couch and help themselves.
Exactly. I am a Christian, and I do believe in helping those that need help. But I don't believe in helping the lazy.
There you go. Doug, God bless you and your family on this Independence Day weekend, and the very best to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Zeb. Your comment about, giving them a one-way ticket if they don't like it here, move out. Well, unfortunately, with the Muslims, they want to move in and take over the country. Basically a population or immigration jihad. So whether or not, just look, France is almost 50% Muslim now because of their lax immigration policies. And we're bringing in 2 immigrants right now, just the legal ones, for every job that's out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's depressing wages, and this new trade agreement that if that thing goes through, we'll bring in a whole bunch more just so corporate America can have the cheapest labor possible.
Well, and the other thing is you mentioned about the culture. I don't want, and I got to wrap it up here and do a commercial, but Adrian, I really don't care about their culture. I really don't care if they sat there with 2 wooden bowls and mixed that and this together to come up with this. I don't care about their culture. When you come to America, you melt into our culture, our American culture. I don't want a whole hodgepodge of everything going in different directions.
Well, multiculturalism is obviously is failed. They've been pushing that. So we're not, obviously you and I aren't politically correct. We're bigots. We're not, accepting these other cultures and their beliefs, even though their beliefs in their own scriptures tell them that if we don't convert to their religion, that they kill us.
Yeah.
Now that's not melting. That's an act of violence by them, and so we see workplace violence going on all over the country. When are we going to wake up to realize what the jihad is doing here right now?
Absolutely. Adrian, I appreciate your call. God bless you, sir. Have a wonderful Independence Day weekend. Thank you so much. Thanks
a lot. I'm glad you're using Independence Day because everybody calls it the 4th of July.
Well,
it's Independence Day, folks. And
it is.
Use that phrase all the time.
It is. Thank you very much. Oh, I know I'm worked up about this morning, and I know there are these little loony lefties, those are the ones that sit in the corner of a room, dimly lit room, and they pick the fuzz off their shirt or something. That's all they have to do. That are upset, that's fine. That's fine. I couldn't care less. Hey, the best tire value promise in the industry is at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and they're having a big sale. A big sale on popular passenger car and light truck tires like the the Eclipse tire, all-season traction, smooth, quiet ride. The Strategy tire, 60,000-mile warranty. And the Open Country for light trucks, Open Country HT, all-season tires, superior handling. Gonna be a good one? It is. Hey, stop in and check out all the great tire buys at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Yes, best tire value promise in the industry. You stop in and see them today. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, the best. Let's see, what else have I got cooking here? Oh, Lead On Texas. I got to get this story in real quick. Lead On Texas. Fighting the stupid illegal gay marriage ruling. Now state workers can refuse to issue same-sex marriage license if doing so is contrary to their religious beliefs. The Attorney General in Texas said that from the judges on down. I hope they do it. I hope they stand tough. Lead On Texas. Right now, we're going to take a little break and send it back over to our main studios. Coming up next hour, we've got, now wait a minute, folks, I hope this comes through. We're supposed to be having United States Senator Mike Crapo calling in, and it's going to be a very short interview, not going to take outside calls. I got a lot of ground to cover in a short period of time. And then at 9:30, Scott Kessel with the Idaho Cattle Association. All that coming up next hour. Don't go away. Wheels, take it away. I'm glad that group started in Twin against the Refugee Center. Good for them. Good for them asking questions. Good morning, everybody. Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All of our great, great locations, 7 of them are on the Magic Valley. And some of our great advertisers, including Valley-Wide Home and Ranch at 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch. They got all the bug spray, all the fly spray. They've got it all for you at Valley-Wide Home and Ranch. And our friends at Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is landing ahead, always at your disposal.
Western Waste Services, don't forget, along with the pickup of your garbage and getting rid of it, don't forget they also have the Go Minis. Yes, sirree, they'll deliver your mini right to you, the container right there. You fill it up, and they'll help store it for you, too. These are great storage ideas from Western Waste Services. All you have to do is give them a call at 734-6969. Always at your disposal, Western Waste Services. Yeah, Wheels, I hear you.
You wanted me to let you know that when Senator Mike Crapo was on, whoops, that was weird. Yeah, Senator Mike Crapo is on the phone.
Okay, Wheels, thanks much. I'll be right there. I got to finish paying the bills first. Our senator should appreciate that. Don't forget, too, every morning we start the program with the weather forecast sponsored by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. They've got whatever you need to make your house a home at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Call them today with questions, 678-6945 on 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Also, our thanks for some really community-oriented folks that are absolutely helping you all the time, 365 days a year, and that's our dear friend Joel Heward, the manager of Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. His family, his staff, always serving you, always with flexible hours to be there when you need them, and always with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Don't forget, call them today for more information, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, on the phone line with us is United States Senator Mike Crapo. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm well, Zeb, and I do understand paying the bills.
I wish the government knew how to pay the bills.
I was just going to say, I wish the U.S. Congress could figure that out.
Mike, I guess I got to ask you first and foremost this morning, what in the world happened with the Supreme Court in making that decision on gay marriage the law of the land? First of all, they don't have the right to make that law of the land, and secondarily, it's going to be absolutely opening up a pit of snakes. What are your thoughts on the Supreme Court ruling?
Well, first of all, as is usually the case, I agree with your analysis. The fact is, the 10th Amendment of the Constitution says that those powers not given to the federal government are reserved to the states and to the people, respectively. And this is that kind of situation. The Supreme Court made a terrible decision there. In fact, the Supreme Court has made a couple of really bad decisions in the last 10 days or 2 weeks. They have made a couple of good decisions, but, their decision on Obamacare, which just completely misread the law. In fact, what they did on Obamacare was basically say, well, even though the law doesn't say this, it's really what it should have said. Congress meant to write it the right way, but they just didn't do it right. Well, that's not what a court is supposed to do. A court is supposed to say, what did the law say, and interpret it.
Mike, when you look at these cases, both Obamacare and the Gay Marriage Act, I'm going to tell you, I'm very, very right-wing, I'm very conservative, and I agree with Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton when he said that state workers that don't want to issue marriage licenses to the gays and lesbians don't have to if it's against their religious beliefs. I think that's the approach that should be taken nationwide. What are your thoughts?
Again, I agree 100%, and as a matter of fact, there is legislation that has been introduced in both the House and in the Senate to do exactly that. And as you might guess, I'm a co-sponsor of that legislation. And it's in response to the Supreme Court decision to say that notwithstanding what the Supreme Court has said, no person can be required or forced by the government or some government regulatory agency to perform marriages or to participate in those types of activities that they religiously disagree with. And it's a protection of religious liberty.
This weekend is Independence Day weekend, celebrating the 4th of July, and I want to ask you this. Here we are with threats of terrorism in this country by ISIS and lone wolf terrorists, and I understand the FBI has set up 50 command centers across the United States, warning people, telling them to be observant, etc. Senator, where is the president? Where's the vice president? Where are the people in charge trying to soothe the nation's fears? I haven't heard Obama say one blasted word.
No, he hasn't. And, I think that perhaps he is relying on the public service announcements or the FBI's warnings and so forth. But the fact is, I think it would be appropriate for the president to speak out and to assure people that he is instructing the various parts of the executive branch of the government to be fully on the alert and prepared to defend us. I believe they are, but I believe that it would be very helpful for the president to be engaged in letting Americans know that he personally is aware of the situation and concerned enough about it to speak to the American people about it.
Mike, I got to ask you this, too, because in Oklahoma City this morning, a city that I'm very familiar with, I've done a lot of my announcing in Oklahoma City for various special events, and right there on the grounds of the Capitol, they have a very beautiful 10 Commandments display that a federal judge said this morning, you've got to tear it down. You can't put it up there any longer. And I know that over 80% of the people in Oklahoma are infuriated over this. They want to keep that 10 Commandments. And at the same time, tonight in New York City, they're going to allow a protest with flag burning and demonstrations against our military and our police. It seems to me, Mike, that everything is upside down in this country and we've lost our value system.
Well, there certainly are a lot of things that are upside down, and frankly, although that was an Oklahoma case, it didn't bind the entire country. There's some speculation that now that issue will go before the Supreme Court itself. And usually I would have been really glad about that because I would have had strong confidence that the Supreme Court would get it right. We have had more sensible decisions coming out of the Supreme Court until recently. But now we're at a point where the Ten Commandments, that frankly there are 10 Commandment displays on public buildings across this country. And in fact, last night I heard one of the analysts talking about the fact that in dicta or just in side comment in previous cases, some Supreme Court justices have said that these are actually historic, not documents, but historic monuments that might deserve protection under more than just the religious liberty grounds. But I think that's one more fight that we're engaged in, and you raised the flag. Again, the courts have said that those who want to desecrate the flag have the right to do that under the First Amendment freedom of speech. But I think that the flag is such a central symbol of our freedom and our nation that we ought to protect it. That will require a constitutional amendment to allow for protection of our flag, and I, for years, have supported that amendment to do just that, to let Americans vote on whether we have the right to protect our flag from desecration.
Mike, you and I might be on different sides of the fence on this next issue, but I'll honor and listen to what you have to say and try to sway my thinking. I am against the Trans-Pacific Trade Bill. I think it gives too much power to the president. I think it's very, very secretive. I think it possibly will hurt employment here in this country. I think it will hurt American agriculture, and I think it will help bring more numbers of illegals into this country. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I hope you are wrong. Right now, we don't know the answer to that for two reasons. One, the agreement has not been finally negotiated. And two, the fact is, excuse me, that the Congress just passed legislation, the Trade Promotion Authority legislation, that puts strict restraints on the ability of the president to make some of those agreements that you just described in any trade agreement. I think that trade agreements are good. In fact, they're not only good, they are incredibly critical to our economy. 95% of the people in the world live outside of the borders of the United States, and we are seeing our international markets for our small and large businesses alike shrink because we face increasing tariffs and non-tariff barriers in global trade. And so we need to have trade agreements. The problem is we need good trade agreements, and we don't need trade agreements that violate, that put the United States in a bad position, or that implement provisions like immigration provisions or new environmental laws or new labor laws. So it's a mixed bag, frankly, Zeb. The bill that we just passed, which a lot of people are confusing with the Trans-Pacific Partnership, was the Trade Promotion Authority legislation, which actually required the president to make the negotiations public. Right now, it's all secret. Our bill would require that if the president reaches an agreement, that it can't be put before Congress for a vote until the public has been allowed to see it for 60 to 90 days. And it requires that the president not negotiate certain things like immigration, and in fact requires that he does negotiate the things he should negotiate, like reducing tariffs and non-tariff trade barriers. So I guess my overall point is the concerns you raise are concerns we should be alert to, but we do need to get good, well-negotiated agreements put into place, and that's the process I think that we should follow.
All right, one other related story to that, and it involves the president and his powers and his lack of negotiating skills. This Iranian nuclear deal scares the dickens out of me. I couldn't care less about Obama's legacy. I am more concerned about preservation of peace and sanctity around the world. This man absolutely is giving away the family store as far as I'm concerned. Your thoughts on this potential agreement?
Agree with you again. I often talk to people about how our national debt is the biggest threat that our nation faces. And I still believe that it is, because it's such a powerful threat and it comes from within. But regardless of whether that's right or wrong, one of the biggest threats right there at the top is a nuclear-armed Iran. I'm convinced that the president is going down a path that will not only fail to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, but actually set a timeline where it's clear that Iran will get a nuclear weapon. Now, I'm concerned that he won't have the adequate verification put in place for us to know what Iran is doing. And I'm very concerned that the president is simply ignoring the critical threat to the United States that will come if Iran is allowed to get a nuclear weapon.
Mike, I don't know how much time you have left, but I know that tomorrow you're going to be in the area. You're going to be going to Hanson. You're going to be right here in Murtaugh, and then also Burley. Do you have the time frames in front of you that you can tell my audience where you will be to meet them and answer questions?
Yes, I can, and then I do probably have to run because I'm about to go into a town hall meeting in about 6 or 8 minutes in Ketchum. But I will be tomorrow having town meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning at Hanson at the Rock Creek, the TNT Cafe on Rock Creek Road, at 11:30 in Murtaugh at the Murtaugh City Park, at 2 o'clock in Burley at the Burley Public Library, and at 3:30 in Heyburn at the Heyburn City offices. And I welcome folks to come out and talk politics, talk issues, ask me questions, share their comments, and engage in a regular old-fashioned town meeting.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow in Murtaugh, a mile and a half away from my place. Mike Crapo, our senator from Idaho. Thank you. God bless you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Zeb. Great to visit with you.
All right, take care. Senator Mike Crapo, and I appreciate him coming on the program this morning. I like what he said. I like the way it was presented, and I felt that he had the same frustrations I did on a lot of these issues. And now I'd like to hear what you have to say after you listen to what Mike Crapo said. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Want to remind everybody, the Idaho Cattle Association going to have a great big 100-year celebration. Yes, they're going to have their annual convention and trade show, and it's going to be up at the Riverside Hotel on July 14th through the 18th. 100 years, and boy, I'll tell you what, they have done an amazing job. This is going to be a week filled with all kinds of different fun things, educational things for the cattle industry. Don't miss it. It's the Industry Convention and Trade Show celebrating 100 years of the Idaho Cattle Association, July 14th through the 18th at the headquarters of the Riverside Hotel in Boise. And that's where the real cowboys will be. By the way, it's off and running right now, and that's the Rupert 4th of July celebration. Oh, my goodness sakes, 89th annual Salute to Our Troops. Rupert's 4th of July celebration. And today the food booths open up in about an hour and a half. And then they're going to have entertainment in the park, and then the carnival, and tomorrow more of the same with all kinds of fun for the entire family. On the July 3rd, don't miss this. They're going to have the lawnmower races at the fairgrounds at 6 p.m. And on the 4th of July, don't forget, always one of the greatest 4th of July parades starting at 11 o'clock in downtown Rupert. 89th annual Rupert 4th of July celebration. Salute our troops. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd like to hear what your remarks are this morning. Donald Trump doubled down, and I like this. I mean, there's been a few people out in the audience that have called and criticized me for stumping for Trump. I don't care. I think right now Donald Trump is on a roll. I think right now Donald Trump is telling the truth. I think right now Donald Trump and what he says is absolutely long been overdue to be said. He told the truth about Mexico. He doubled down yesterday when he said he's going to sue Univision for a bunch of money for canceling the Miss USA contest. And he said the same thing about Mexico in his remarks. And he's right. Everything he said about Mexico can be validated. Good for Donald Trump. Good for him. We're seeing a politician running for president. Whether he wins or not, he is opening up a Pandora's box of not being politically correct. He's opening up that box and letting the truth fly in maybe language that you don't like because you want everything all sweet, creamed over and everything. Nuh-uh. I admire the man. I think it's great that he's telling it like it is. And he's just basically has said to the rest of the world, hey, I'm going to tell the story the way I see it. I don't need all the solicitations from people to donate to my cause. I'll fund my own campaign. I can do it myself. Here is what the problem is. Devil be damned, this is what's going on. You got to admire the guy for that. And I do. Lead on, Donald Trump. And maybe others will try to follow in his footsteps and be a lot more honest and a lot more to the point. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to remind you, too, about Let's Ride. Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn. Man, are they busy right now. This hot weather has got people sitting back saying, you know what, I think I'd like to go buy a watercraft and have some fun on the river or the lake or maybe a big puddle of water. I'm telling you what, people just need to get out and relax, unwind, and stay cool. Well, I'll tell you what, they've got all your watercraft right over there at Let's Ride. Highway 24, like I said, between Rupert and Heyburn. That is where the fun is sold. Absolutely. And all the ATVs, all the 4x4s, they got it all for you right there. And a fantastic service department at Let's Ride, where the fun is sold. Wonderful people. Cameron and Siemens are in that category of wonderful people, and they're just down the road a little ways on Highway 24. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits. Oh, my. All of this with Dean Cameron, Todd Siemens. And all you have to do is make an appointment at 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, serving you. Tonight is a very special night, and I really mean that because we're going to be over at the corner of Scott and C Street for the Idaho Roll Call Memorial Monument. And what a fitting occasion as it leads us into the celebration of Independence Day on the 4th of July. And I just want to pay tribute to George and Donna Mass, and I'm going to say that again tonight. And the public is encouraged, and I ask you to please be there for this. It's not going to take long. Believe me, it's only going to be about a 45-minute ceremony, but we really do want you there at the Idaho Roll Call Monument tonight at 6 p.m. I know Gina Jameson's going to be there broadcasting live. We've got some really great people that are going to be there on behalf of the program. And we need you there, too. The monument pays tribute to all the fallen men and women who gave their life for us. How fitting as we celebrate Independence Day 2015. Oh, I think what we ought to do is also hear a good word about the Silver State Stampede.
Follow the crowd to family entertainment at its best. The 2015 Silver State Stampede thunders into Elko July 9th, 10th, and 11th at the Elko Fairgrounds. Kicking off this weekend of rodeo action on Thursday, July 9th is the annual Stampede Kickoff Party, featuring a $10 tri-tip dinner, followed by the Old West Calcutta, Old West bronc riding, the Western Trade Show, and ending the night with live music and dancing to the sounds of the Jeff Palmer Band. The fun continues on Friday and Saturday with a full roster of PRCA rodeo action, followed by the always popular Ring of Fear, and more live music and dancing. You can get your tickets today at Roy's, the J.M. Capriola Company, the Boot Barn, IFA, or the Elko Chamber of Commerce. For more information, check online at www.silverstatestampede.com or call 777-934-6502. Follow the crowd to the 2015 Silver State Stampede, July 9th, 10th, and 11th. Family entertainment at its very best.
All right, thank you, Elko, Nevada. Next week we'll be there for the Silver State Stampede. It is a ripping good time in Elko. Hey, by the way, too, I want to remind you my good buddy Dave Zanino is going to have another team roping series, Jackpot Roping, tonight, and that's going to be at the Jerome County Fairgrounds. Now, here's the difference, folks. They're going to be starting with sign-up at 7:30, rope at 8. They're going to let it cool down maybe just a little bit before they start, so sign up at 7:30, rope at 8 tonight at the Jerome County Fairgrounds. Another one of those summer team roping series, and produced by Dave Zanino. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Mr. Bell. How are you today?
Hello, birthday girl. How are you?
Oh, thanks. I'm just finer than frog hair.
Well, what can I do for you real quick before I have to introduce my next guest?
I'm going to hurry. You know, I want to thank you and your lovely bride for all that you do for the veterans and the veterans programs that, you know, that we put on. This tonight is a very emotional dedication. If you didn't make the first one, I encourage everybody to come out and see the second one. It's a very moving event, and it's taken a lot of people giving a lot of time to make it come to fruition.
Oh, well said. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. And yes, they can give, they being the populace of this area, they can give up 35, 45 minutes to be there tonight to help this celebration. And I certainly want to say thanks to you and George for all that you've done.
Oh, you know, it's not just us, Deb, but thank you. It takes a whole community and a lot of influential people to get this done. You know, Senator Cameron, Senator Woods, you know, there's a lot of people involved.
Absolutely.
We appreciate them all, because this is for all the fallen soldiers throughout Idaho, throughout all the wars.
Absolutely. Donna, I know it's your birthday, and make that doggone old skin Flint George buy you a great big dinner and a nice present. You go pick it out. I don't care how much it costs. Go ahead.
Okay, I just told you said I could.
You bet. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Happy birthday. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go right to the phone lines. And I understand this man was off shoeing a horse already this morning, saving a $100 bill, doing it himself. Hello, Scott Kessel with the Idaho Cattle Association. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. How's the weather up there in Lemhi County? Is it as hot up there as it is here?
You know, it's not as hot as it is there, but it's hotter than we're used to. That's for sure.
Well, now, you are the Cow-Calf Council chairman for the Idaho Cattle Association, so basically what does that mean, Scott?
You know, I represent the ranchers that are calf producers in ICA and all over the state of Idaho, and it's a real honor for me to do that. I really appreciate the opportunity.
What are the challenges right now, Scott, more so today than ever before for the cattleman, the cow-calf producer? What are the challenges that you have to meet and try to beat?
You know, we're struggling right now with the public lands issue, the sage grouse, in particular wildfires, and you know, we're battling that every day, and that's our biggest challenge right now.
Okay, but now, when you say we're battling this and we're fighting this, I mean, let's face it, a lot of these environmental groups, they've got pretty deep pockets and a lot of big money. How do you battle it, and is there an opportunity that we can win?
You know, we're optimistic about making the sage grouse deal work for us. You know, we're the best stewards of the land anyway, and we hope common sense prevails. We can't really compete with them in a courtroom, that's for sure. But like I said, we're hoping common sense prevails in the end.
You know, Scott, as far as a cow-calf producer, and especially up in your neck of the woods with the wolf problem, I mean, that problem has been exacerbated, and it's, you know, the numbers have been increasing, and now you've got to worry about the sage grouse issue. It seems like if you duck that right cross, you're going to get hit with a left hook.
You know, sometimes we think that, but we got to get up in the morning every day and get to work and try to do what we do best, and that's produce a safe and wholesome product for the consumers to eat. And we just have to be positive about it and get up and get to work.
Now, the cattle industry itself, nationwide, looks really good, really strong right now. What are your thoughts as you look into a crystal ball, Scott Kessel's crystal ball for the future? What do you think is going to be happening in the cattle business?
Well, you know, the numbers right now are low, and low since 1954 or so. That's kind of makes helps the price deal. Also, people are really enjoying eating beef, and so I look for the next, few years to stay pretty good. You know, people are retaining heifers back and breeding them, so I think our numbers are going to come back a little bit. But hopefully we do a good job of marketing our product and we kind of stay where we are or get a little better even.
When you talk about marketing, Scott, you know, I really am interested in new ideas, innovative ideas. Are there still avenues of approach to the general public that haven't been tried to get more sales of beef?
You know, we have a excellent system in place. It's called the Beef Checkoff. We all contribute to it when we sell cattle, and they're doing an excellent job through research and development, and we're coming up with new cuts of beef every year.
Okay. Now, you've got your 100-year industry convention and trade show that's coming up in Boise. Now, I've had other people on the air from the Idaho Cattle Association talking about this, but I want to get your viewpoint. Why? Why should people, A, be a member, and B, why should they try to attend this great big 100-year convention?
Well, you know, the cattle industry is the second largest industry in Idaho, and the ICA is celebrating 100 years of Feeding the Future with the convention and trade show. So there's something for everybody there. We've got, like I said, a large trade show, and we've got some great speakers lined up on the 15th. And Governor Otter's cleared his schedule for the whole week. There's going to be a cattle drive on Saturday with him in the lead up Chinden Boulevard. The J.R. Simplot Memorial Golf Tournament on Thursday. There's also a rangeland rangeland tour, graze it, don't blaze it thing. So there's something for everybody there.
You know, Scott, if Governor Otter leads that cattle drive like he turns steers off in the arena, you might have a stampede down Chinden Boulevard.
You know, and that might happen. It might be still fun to watch, but we've got a lot of the past presidents riding with him, and they're all pretty handy cowboys themselves.
Now, the headquarters is going to be the Riverside Hotel in Boise, but, Scott, there's activities going on all week long at various other parts of Boise. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. The J.R. Simplot Memorial Golf Tournament is going on also. And I can't really tell you where that is.
I think it's at Quail Hollow Golf Course. I've got the note right here in front of me.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Also, for the cattle women, there's some special events. It's called Beauties in the Beef. They're going to enjoy lunch and view a Western Woman fashion show. There's also a ladies traveling happy hour. They're going to take the trolley tour downtown Boise. So there's a little something for everybody there.
Now, some of these speakers that are going to be there, Tom Brink and Brooks Dame and Glenn and Brian Klippenstein and the others, what is the main theme that they're going to try to speak on and let the cattlemen know?
Well, you know, it's just some of it's going to be marketing, some of it's going to be, you know, old things that we can do to do a little better job for ourselves. You know, so it's going to be very educational for all of us.
Scott, now I mentioned earlier that the wolf situation was more prominent up in your area than perhaps other areas. How bad is the situation right now with the wolves versus the cattle up in Lemhi County?
You know, we're getting along fairly well right now. You know, we've got a pretty good system in place where we have some losses that they'll come in and help us out, take care of the problem wolves. Our problem is in the back country, the wolves weren't really controlled at all. So the elk herds in the back country, the Middle Fork area are pretty much decimated. So the wolves do have to go somewhere and find something to eat. So they're moving out, you know, and they're down into your country.
Yeah.
So it's every day.
Let me ask you this question, Scott, and you're cutting out just a little bit there. Hold that phone really still. But the problem with the wolves and the numbers, and like you said, it's becoming more widespread across the state. What about management tools? It doesn't seem like the management of the numbers is really paying off, is it?
Well, you know, the folks on the other side, they think they can never have enough wolves. So, every time we go in and have a plan to try to eliminate some wolves, they take us right to court and get it stopped. So we're just doing the best we can.
Folks, I want to tell everybody that I've known this man for a long, long time when he was a champion circuit bull rider and qualified for the NFR. Do you miss the old bull riding days?
Those are way back there, and I've kind of moved on. I'm doing it, and memories I'll never...
We're losing him on the cell phone, Scott. I'm losing you. Try answering that again if you can still hear me. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, and I've kind of moved on from that. I miss it a little bit in the memories, but, raising cattle is my passion now, and that's what I'm putting everything I've got into.
All right, tell us a little bit about your family. For those that know you and followed your rodeo career, tell us a little bit about your family and what's going on up at the ranch at Lemhi. Have you got kids now? What's going on?
I do. I have 2 boys, girl. My oldest boy is 20 years old. He rodeoed for Idaho and qualified for the college finals in the steer wrestling. My middle son, Jake, just qualified for the high school finals in Saturday. Got an 8-year-old racer.
All right. Well, we're having a little difficulty. All of a sudden, the cell phone decided to kind of pan out on us. I want to say thanks to a dear friend, Scott Kessel, Cow-Calf Council Chairman for the Idaho Cattle Association. Scott, thank you for calling us this morning, and God's blessings to you. Thank you much.
All right, thank you, Zip.
You bet. Take care. Sometimes cell phones can be the worst enemy of radio, and it was kind of fading out a little bit on us there. But I've got nothing but respect for that young man, Scott Kessel. Young man, now he's got kids that are in their 20s. My goodness sakes, where did the time go? And lives up in Lemhi County. And the great big ICA 100-year convention coming up at the Riverside Hotel in Boise, July 14th through the 18th. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call on the landline. We've got some open time right now. Give me a jingle. I'd like to hear from you, okay? Call me, 436-2244. While I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, I want to remind you about some of the great merchants over there in Rupert that are helping sponsor all the activities for the Rupert 4th of July celebration. And they include Magic Valley Carpet, 613 D Street in Rupert, right off the square. All your flooring needs, carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, tile. 35 years of experience, over 35 years of experience with professional installation, Magic Valley Carpet. And our friends at Haskin Insurance Service, 629 Fremont Street in Rupert, with Mike and Dustin and Dawn and Terry, over 50 years combined service and experience with all the items of home, auto, farm, life, or health insurance. They can do the job for you, and they wish you and yours a very happy 4th of July weekend. Along with Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert, a terrific pizza shop. Cinnamon sticks are always delicious, and of course, all you can eat Mondays and Thursdays for only $8. They're going to be closed on the 4th, but they say come on in right after that with your family to Doc's Pizza. Caller, good morning. You are on the air. Thank you.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
The patriotic program tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not on the square, right?
No, it's over at the corner of Scott and C Street in Rupert. It's just off the square, maybe a block and a half at the most, and just look for Scott and C Street and you can't miss it. It's right on the corner intersection.
Okay.
And believe me, I would say this. I think there's going to be a lot of people there. You'll see a lot of cars. You can't possibly miss it. Anybody can tell you how to get there. It's not hard at all to find. Listen, Lorna, if I can find it, you can find it.
Okay.
All right. God bless you.
Another question. Do we need to bring chairs?
You know, that is a good question, and one of which I'm going to have George talk about next hour when he calls in. But I would be safe and maybe bring a lawn chair. And believe me, you don't want to be standing there for 45 minutes. So unless I find out that there are chairs, I would say you better bring one.
Uh-huh.
Very good question. Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
All right, Lorna. We'll see you tonight.
All righty.
All right.
Have a great day.
All right, God bless. There's a lovely lady that is so supportive of all the different events that we have around this area, and I really appreciate her. All right, come on now. Don't let me down. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I am going to get the weather in here right now, brought to you by Duck Uglies. I love that name. Duck Uglies at 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Man, have they got a Friday night special. Ribeye steak with forced shrimp, baked potato, Texas toast. Oh, it is delicious. Now, Jack being the good guy that he is, he said to his employees, we're going to close on the 4th of July so everybody can celebrate the 4th with their families. Good guy, but they're going to be open all the way up until the 4th. You better stop in there on Friday night. Great entertainment, great food at Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Here now, the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zevith Ranch as we are officially into July, which, by the way, tonight is the Idaho Roll Call Monument. How's the weather going to be as we move towards that event? It's going to be sunny and hot. It is going to be a little bit windy, but it's going to kind of be like being in a blow dryer. Out of the west, right around 15 miles an hour. Sunny, high of 95. Tonight, low of 60. Tomorrow, pretty much the same. Partly to mostly sunny skies, high of 96. Winds dying down slightly. Out of the west, right around 6 miles an hour. Expecting overnight low near 61. Tomorrow, just photocopy. Thursday, Saturday, pretty much the same. Partly to mostly sunny skies, high of 96 with an overnight low of 65. And then for Sunday, woo! Maybe cooling down to about 90. That's your weather forecast for Zevith Ranch.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Gina. Duck Uglies bringing you the weather at 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Ah, yes. Great place to go. Meals are fantastic and great entertainment at Duck Uglies. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. What did you think about that story that I had to hurry and get it in right before the news last hour about Texas? Texas is leading the pack right now, and along with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton, they said to the Supreme Court, and they've said to the gays, lesbians, and transgenders, no, wait a minute. If workers in the state of Texas at the courthouse decide that, no, they don't want to issue licenses to same-sex couples or be any part of a gay marriage, they can say, no, this is against their religious beliefs, and they are not going to be forced into doing it. Now, here's what might happen, and they've acknowledged this. Oh, yeah, there'll be lawsuits. Oh, yeah, the ACLU will step in. Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lot of heartache over this. But I know a lot of lawyers right now, and especially with the Alliance Defending Freedom, that will probably help them and not charge them. It'll be pro bono. And this thing could be the best way to fight this ridiculous Supreme Court ruling. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zip. You use exactly what I was wanting to talk about.
All right. Well, go ahead. Let me hear your side of it.
Okay. Well, no, I just wanted to ask you the question. I wonder what the state of Idaho is going to do to protect their citizens, just like Texas is doing that. Alabama, I think, has already said they're going to stop doing any civil marriages at all.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, what the state of Idaho is going to do, or they just going to sit back and wait because they don't want to maybe spend any money or what?
You know, I can't answer, sir, what's going to happen here in the state of Idaho because I don't know. But I will say this. that, and I think you'll agree with me, that as far as Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Attorney General Ken Paxton are concerned, they are taking the initiative. They're picking up the hauler shank and they're tying the horse up to the barn. They're taking the initiative to address the problem, and they're saying, wait a minute, enough of this sleaze and abnormality is enough. And if people don't want to be a part of it and they don't want to be coerced into it, they don't have to be. And I'll tell you what, I like what Texas is doing, and I salute them.
Yeah, me too. I even think when push comes to shove, which it will, even people from that don't live in Texas ought to be able to support the effort.
Absolutely.
Donations or whatever. I mean, I feel really strong about it. Also, Zep, I printed off last night. The Southern Baptists have already put out quite a document in kind of giving guidelines for the churches, and it's very interesting, and it's in conjunction with the Alliance Defending Freedom, and it runs 44 pages. I'm going to be down through today, and I'll drop you off a copy. If you're not there, I'll just stick it in your door or something.
I would love to have it. I'd be honored, and I thank you for providing that to me. I just think...
Because I'm looking at what to do for my church. We definitely are going to have to update our bylaws, maybe some stuff, Confession of Faith, add an article. And so it's interesting. So I'm doing quite a bit of research on it, and I'm interested in what everybody else is doing. Pastors out there, what they're thinking of doing.
Let me ask you a question right there, sir, because you are very important in this cog in the wheel type atmosphere of this problem. What are you going to do if somebody forces their way into your church and says, yes, you will marry the both of us? Are you going to say no, or are you going to bend like a willow in the wind and say, oh, gee, I better do this, or the government and the IRS will come in and try to take my tax-exempt status away? What are you going to do when they increase the problem and they want to marry 2 and 3 people? And I'm not being way off base on this, because you know as well as I do that's coming up next. This whole thing is going to be exacerbated into a bigger problem. So what are pastors and church leaders going to do?
Yeah, well, I made up my mind. I'm not going to bend on it. I have my convictions, biblical convictions, and I'm not going to bend on it. I'm not going to be obnoxious about it or anything, but I'm just not going to do it. But, I can envision, and I talked to a guy yesterday, and he thought I was a little bit, paranoid or whatever, or anticipating problems. And when I told him, I said, I can envision that there's these groups right now having meetings to see what they can do to push this thing, because it isn't just the fact to get married. There's a much bigger agenda behind it, and I think the agenda is to legitimize, their lifestyle.
Yeah,
and they're already planning. And this guy said, "Oh, they'll do something back in the New York or somewhere like that." And I said, "I don't know." I said, "I think I could envision them picking on a small church that they know doesn't have any money to defend themselves,
right?
And try to get a ruling." So, we haven't heard the last of it, I'll tell you what.
I would say this, and I want you to respond to this. I'm going to take it one step further. On Monday, on this program, I came out and said, and I'll stand behind my words, that this ruling by the Supreme Court and this rainbow attitude by the White House to bathe the White House in the rainbow colors of the gay, lesbian, and transgenders, it's just a sign of the times for, again, denouncing and destroying Christianity in this country. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I think ultimately all of the battle is they don't want God. They don't want anything to do with God. Like Psalms 2 says, that they just want to get rid of any influence or anything like that. That's the ultimate battle. All these things are just part of that battle. So
as you look back,
one thing about it, we have a God that hasn't lost control yet, and God's people ought to be even more in prayer, because God's still in control.
Absolutely. And always will be, my friend. Thank you very much. I appreciate all your great remarks, and I appreciate you having the backbone and spine to stand up and speak like you did. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, God bless you.
Thank you, sir, very much. I appreciate that phone call more than you'll ever know. And the reason I say that is that I have been very critical of the clergy. I make no bones about it. If somebody was offended, that, again, I'll say it, not to be callous, but that's their problem, not mine. I think in many cases the clergy have been willows in the wind, and they've been very weak-kneed and very spineless on various issues, and have basically run and hidden themselves behind the pulpit. This man that just called in, I have a lot of respect for. I think he's going to stand up. He's going to remain firm and tough on this situation. And we need more people like him in the leadership of church congregations. The sleaze and the filth, the vileness of what's happening in this country has got to be stepped on like a bug. It's got to be stopped. Or we will never have the America we once had, and the America that it deserves to be. There's too many bad influences from your radio, your television, your newspapers, your magazines. Absolutely a vile society, and we're sitting back going, oh, gee, I sure wish somebody do something about that. Well, it's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us. And I revert back to that story that I talked about last hour back in New York tonight. Oh, this is something really to be proud of. This is something that Mayor Bill de Blasio in New York, while you ought to be really happy, my friend, for sanctioning and letting a major flag-burning party occur in a park back there to just basically gather, burn the American flag, burn everything about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, burn anything that has anything good about America, denounce our military, and denounce our police forces. That's what we're coming to with the vile filth vermin that are running our societies today. Oh, and then we got another thing to worry about. The terrorist threat in this country has been heightened to that like 911, according to Congressman Peter King. And we've got 50 command centers, at least across the United States, set up to watch for and take reports of terrorism on this Independence Day weekend. Oh, Mr. President, where are you? Where are you? Not to be seen, not to be heard. In the Bible, it says in Proverbs 11, verse 14, without wise leadership, a nation falls. There is safety in having many advisors. Once again, Barack Obama, where are you? I'll be back in 6. Don't go away. Oh my, it's already the last hour. How time flies when one is having fun. And I'll bet you old Wheels even is having more fun than he had yesterday.
Oh, you know it.
Welcome back to Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell. And, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, including Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Get on the route service today. Call them at 734-6969. And Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch. Yep, at Valleywide Home and Ranch. Holy cow, I was looking at the menu items and the special at the Chadwick Sports Grill today. Whoa, chicken shish kebabs. Yep, chicken shish kebabs are going to be served with choice of side and super salad today. Chicken shish kebabs at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. That's how you go in and order. I want chicken shish kebabs at the Chadwick, along with all the other great menu items and, of course, friendly service. Great people, great atmosphere at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Oh, and by the way, too, don't forget Oakley Vigilantes. Great bunch of wild desperados up there putting on the Oakley Pioneer Days, July 14th through the 18th, with the theme this year, Turning Our Hearts to Our Fathers. And they're not going to have one but two big nights of four-cylinder car bump and rub racing. Anything goes. And normally it does. That's going to be a lot of fun on the 14th and 15th, and then the Gymkhana on the 16th, and then starting on 17th and 18th, the big rodeo, and all the other amenities for the families to get involved in the Oakley Pioneer Days, and that's going to be July 14th through the 18th up in Oakley, thanks to the Oakley Vigilantes. Don't miss it. Going to be a lot of fun in the old Wild West town of Oakley. Right now, let's go to the phone line and say good morning to Dan Kish. And Dan is, I got to get the official title in, or Dan's going to get all bent out of shape at me. He is the Senior Vice President of the American Energy Alliance. Did I say that correctly, sir?
Yeah, you sure did, Zeb.
Boy, you've got all these titles. Pretty soon they're going to have you a special chair at the board meeting at the White House.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm just happy if people wave. You know how that works. You get a title.
Dan, you are my most respected guest to have on the air and talk about energy. You know all about energy, or the lack of. Hey, I condemned the Supreme Court all week long about their absolute idiot analysis of Obamacare and gay marriage, but I guess they did do something right against the EPA. Tell us about it.
Well, on Monday after last week, I think we were all wondering what country we were living in, and then on Monday, what they did is they smacked down the EPA, kind of gave them the back of the hand on their regulations regarding what they call their mercury regulations, but don't make any difference in mercury at all. All they do is drive up the cost of electricity and shut coal plants, which is all part of the plan, as we've discussed before. And basically what happened is Justice Scalia, writing for the majority, said, you have to look at what the cost of your regulations are. You can't just wing it and say we're going to do this regardless of what the costs and benefits are. And he said correctly that for the so-called mercury rule, the benefits, the EPA when they finally got around to doing it after they should have done it first, were $4 to $6 million per year in public health benefits nationwide for 320 million people, in return for $9.6 billion in costs every year for 320 million people. And he said that doesn't make any sense. And that's the good news. The bad news is this is a 3-year-old regulation that they put in place, and the coal plants are already closing. They've already made plans to close them because they can't comply with the regulations under the costs, or they're trying to build new plants. And so it's not going to have that much impact, but at least what it did is it said to EPA, hey, you still work for us.
Yeah.
You know, you aren't godlike, no matter what you think. We know you're trying a lot of other things. We're going to keep a much closer eye on you. And so that's the good part about it, is that they finally acknowledge that EPA is not godlike when it comes to having power over everything we do in this country.
Dan, I got to ask you this. I've called a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people from California all the way back to the East Coast. And we have really cleaned up our act here in the United States of America. And I think credit should be given where credit is due. And they've initiated all these fancy scrubbers to take care of the air pollution. And right now, the United States, I think, is leading the world in cleanliness in the environment. Why? Why does this government, why does this administration want to just give a death blow to any kind of energy?
Well, because ultimately what they want us to use are the types that the president talks about all the time, solar and wind. He wants the country to run on solar and wind. Yesterday, he met with the president of Brazil and announced that not including hydro, which of course is our largest renewable energy source, the United States would achieve 20% of our electricity from nuclear, or from nuclear doesn't count, and new hydro doesn't count, from renewable energy sources. So in other words, we're going to triple the amount he says we're going to triple the amount of wind and solar by basically forcing people to pay more for wind and solar than they do for existing sources. This is what he's always said. They do not like carbon dioxide. Apparently they don't like nuclear either, and apparently they don't like hydroelectric either, because those don't count. And we're going to do it on wind and solar panels. So get ready.
Well,
Dan, these are people who are lawyers.
Yeah.
And community organizers. They know nothing about electricity. They know nothing about what it takes to run a country. Most of them have never made a thing in their lives or worked a day in their lives, frankly, gotten any dirt under their fingernails, and they're telling us how to design the entire country's electrical grid.
What are they saying, Dan, as a potential timetable? I know you and I have talked about this before, but when you talk about wind or solar and you talk about a light switch turn on of usage of that power, or trying to push a John Deere tractor down the field to plant and or harvest, or whatever, what kind of idiots are running the asylum back there that don't understand it's not anywhere close to being a turn-on type society?
Well, and you know, that's just the things we use it for. How about running an arc furnace with a solar panel? And how about a factory that used to work 24 hours a day with 3 shifts of people making things so that we could compete in the world, that now has to operate, I don't know how they operate, working an arc furnace at night when the solar panels aren't working because the sun doesn't come out. And the scale of things is what they don't understand. I mean, they all think it's as if they've discovered that somehow you can make electricity through these means, and you don't have to apply any economic test to it at all. We'll just take care of everything. It just happens. We're smarter than everybody else. These things just happen. Any complicated endeavor that it's like they go to the grocery store and they get milk off the shelf. And to them, it's milk off the shelf. They don't understand that somebody has to get up in the morning at dark 30 and milk a cow, and then have all the products and invest in all the products in order to be able to make sure that it's safe and it's clean and it's refrigerated and it works its way to the store after going through processes that make sure that it stays that way. But they don't have to worry about any of that. They're just going to dictate that we have milk on the shelf.
You know, Dan, I guess I'm showing my naivete here because I just don't understand why and how these people haven't had a revelation of education and understand this. I mean, in order to get the food produce on the shelf, there has to be a farmer who has to till the soil, who has to grow the crop, or a dairy farmer that has to milk the cow, or a rancher that has to make sure his cow-calf operation produces the beef. How come these idiots, these elected officials that know nothing, how did they get where they are today when their education factor is very questionable?
Well, they've got fancy degrees. The president himself went to all the best schools.
But at the end of the day, they don't know anything about how the real world works, and that shows up when they start dictating to everybody else. They think they're smarter than everybody else because all their professors told them they were smarter than everybody else when they were going to college, and of course their professors couldn't do anything either except for teach. So ultimately what you've got here is a circle of people who tell each other how smart they are, who lavish praise upon each other for how wonderful they are and their outlook on life, who know nothing about how anything works, and yet seek to dictate to all those people who actually have to do real things in a real world situation, how they're going to do it. And it's just, and the reason they got that way is because there are a bunch of people living in cities who are basically living off the people who make things out in the world, who go to the store and get their milk, and it's just supposed to be there. And, those little things like weather or water or transportation costs or electricity for refrigeration, those things are just details. Those are just details. And that's what's going on. We're basically we're being run by people who can't do anything in the real world except for boss everybody else around. That's the way they like it. They love power. They love control. That's what's going on, Zeb.
Dan, when you think about it, though, you would think that there would be a revelation with some of these people within their respective organizations. You would think that somebody would say, wait a minute, we got to bale the hay and get it over to a stack by the corral so that the cows can eat it. Oh, yeah, and the other feed commodities so that when they go into the dairy barn, they can give us milk. Somebody, you would think, would wake up and smell the coffee and say, there's a cycle of life here that we're not understanding.
Yeah, well, it's actually dangerous that you've got a bunch of people who haven't been exposed to this, Zeb. I mean, these are the people who are dictating to people out there. And ultimately, when that chain breaks because of insipid Washington regulation and dictates that don't make any sense, when that thing finally breaks down, it's going to be them that lose out. I mean, ultimately, it's them. Country boy can't survive.
Yeah.
You remember the song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Folks who know how to live off the land can live off the land. These people in the cities, if the electricity goes off or if the water stops because, the machines that they allow to be used to pump the water can't really run when the sun doesn't shine, and those things break down, you got a bunch of sitting ducks.
Yeah, but Dan, I guess I'll go back to the coal-fired plants. I'll go back to the drilling for oil. I'll go back to the fracking. I'll go back to energy production. I mean, the revelation is going to hit too late where it's going to encumber and hurt all of society because of these people being blind as a bat and not understanding we need energy. We need to grow. We're not going to get it with solar and wind.
Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately, we can't afford to run our society the way we have gotten used to living based upon ideas that don't make any sense. And, I mean, we see it. It's the same logic that goes with continuing to borrow beyond your means. Folks are pointing their fingers at Greece at the same time the United States is going down the same path, exact same path.
Yeah.
And, as long as you don't hit the wall, politicians can continue to give free stuff away to people that, doesn't have to be created. It's the same logic. We used to have an ethic in this country that understood that you had to make things, that you had to allow people to prosper and give them some liberty and some room to grow and move and make their lives better. And now those things are looked down upon by the powers that be because ultimately, if you have something you worked hard for, you must have gotten it by ill-gotten means. And so across the board, it's the same logic. It doesn't matter whether it's electricity or water or, pesticides or economics. It's all the same.
Right.
It's a bunch of people who think they're smarter than everybody else who turn out, in the end, to be idiots. And everybody else has to live with the consequences.
Will the next election really provide any new insight on either side of the aisle? I'm getting to be more of a pessimist every day. What are your thoughts?
Well, Zeb, I mean, it's a great question, and it's the sort of thing that I think a lot of thinking people are asking themselves all the time. Have we passed the Rubicon? Have we gotten to a point where, I mean, you see these people protesting in Greece because they don't want to pay their bills. You know, when the bills come due, you just say, sorry, we're not going to pay the bills. Well, if everybody does that, I think we know what the ultimate consequences are.
Right.
And they're going to find out in Greece real fast that they're not alone. Basically, we've got fat, lazy, socialistic government, and a lot of people who happen to like it that way. They see no, you know, as long as the checks keep coming, they're happy, right? The milk's still on the shelf. And it's almost as though we're going to have to hit the wall before some people wake up. And unfortunately, everybody gets hurt at that point, and the consequences are enormous, not only, you know, on a personal level, but from a national level as well. I mean, our enemies around the world would love it if the United States was flat on its back like a cockroach, wiggling around, unable to defend itself or do anything else because it had eaten too much and had gotten too fat and lazy.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's what politicians seem to get elected today, by promising that to everyone.
Absolutely. Dan, I'll tell you what, when I want to feel that gung-ho spirit, I get you on the air. Dan Kish, and of course the American Energy Alliance Senior Vice President. God bless you, sir, and have a very safe, blessed 4th of July Independence Day weekend.
Thank you, Zeb. God bless you and your listeners, too, and happy 4th, happy Independence Day.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Dan Kish, and you heard what he said. You know, that's the whole problem we've got with politicians today on a national scale. They really are, in totality, dumb. They haven't got the common sense that God gave a billy goat or a south end of a mule headed north. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you this morning?
I'm going to ask a favor of Wheels. Wheels, can you turn the callers up? I had a hard time hearing Dan Kish. Can you turn them up just a little bit, please? Go ahead, Tony. Thank you.
Yeah, Zeb, does anybody out there remember the Cuban Missile Crisis of when Kennedy was in office?
I do very well, sir. It was a very scary, scary time.
Yeah, well, when Kerry gets back from trying to catch the carrot over there in Iran or wherever he's at now, he's going to go over there and open up an embassy in Cuba.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Cuba is a communist nation, so what are we going to have now? Cuban agents, communist agents in our country on top of what we've already got?
Oh, but Tony, come on. Where is your American spirit? Where is your attitude of let them all come in? Where is your attitude of love everybody and the Statue of Liberty with open arms? Oh, Tony, what's the matter with you?
I left my compassion when I left the East Coast many years ago.
And I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. The milk of human kindness has run dry. The pitcher is dry. The milk is sour. And until they start paying attention to the taxpayers of this great United States and listening to them as to what their wants and needs are before they bankrupt us with everybody else coming in with their problems from all over the world, I'm going to remain a little bitter and cynical myself, Tony.
Well, we're going to be overtaken by overpopulation because these people that are coming into the countries now, going to the hospitals, they can have 5 and 6 kids. They'll walk out, and they will hand you and me the bill for the babies.
Oh, yes, but that's the American way, Tony. You should be glad to share in all the wealth and all the bills. My goodness, Tony, what's the matter with us?
Oh, I'd rather use my money for jackpot.
Okay. Hey, listen, you and Mary have a blessed Independence Day weekend. God bless you, my friend. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Zeb.
All right, buddy. Thank you much. Yeah, the milk of human kindness, the pitcher is dry. I'm fed up with all this garbage. By the way, Dixon Oil Company at 602 South 2nd in Rupert, they have been in business since 1951, and they can give you and your vehicle the best service possible. Great service station. Don't forget, Daryl and the crew at Dixon Oil wish you and your family a great Independence Day, 4th of July celebration. Dixon Oil, 602 South 2nd in Rupert. Really nice people. Okay, let's see, what else have I got cooking here? Let's see. Oh, I can't do that. I made a mistake. Golly, write this down. I made a mistake in the way I put that on the paper there. Sorry. Now, my bookkeeper, Deanne, will yell at me if I don't correct that. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I'd like to hear from you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Let me get my radio turned down.
Yeah, please.
Okay. You know, the trouble with America is they don't want anybody to be profitable in any kind of business.
Yep.
And you in the radio business, people come to you and they want you to advertise for a little bit of nothing without thinking of the expense that you have.
Yeah.
I relate this back to 40 years ago when I first started the car business. People wanted me to, if I can get you to buy me a car for $100, will that be okay?
Yeah.
Well, not really, but sometimes you do it because you needed the money. But my goodness, people are still asking you to do that.
Yeah, it's really...
They're still asking you to.
That's right. It's a very interesting society today, and I've been hit up by some people that say, well, why can't you put that on the radio? Well, listen, just a second there. I sell time. I am in the business of selling time. Some people sell watches. Some people sell ropes. Some people sell cars. I sell time. You want to buy it? You want to pay for it? Come on the air. You're welcome. But these people sit there and they go, well, you can give me this. Well, I'll tell you what, I haven't walked into a lot of clothing stores and looked at a pair of Wranglers and they said, well, we'll just give you those today.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing of it is, and I've had this experience, attorneys in Boise, $300 an hour. And they start their timer the minute you start talking to them.
Yeah. After the first hello, you better hold on to your billfold.
Yes. But even they have expenses. They can't do it for nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
But that part of it is got completely out of control. But the automobile business, they have this thing that's on TV. It's saturated with it. It's called TrueCar.com.
Uh-huh.
And they said they will tell you what the average person paid for the average car in your area. And,
yeah.
You know, and all this kind of stuff.
I don't give any credence to that whatsoever. Keith, I got to run to a hard break, but I'll say I don't give any credence to that whatsoever. If I want to hire a $300 an hour attorney, and he's the best, and he's going to get the job done for me, I'll go do it. It's called free enterprise in a capitalistic system, and I'll pay for what I want to pay for. If I want to shop around and be very, very cheap, I'll be that way. But I hope America stays this way, but I'm not going to give away what I make my living on, and that is my time. God bless you, Keith. Thank you so much.
Just remember, profitability is not a nasty word.
You got that right. Thank you, sir. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Don't go away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244. or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, thank you very much. Welcome back into our last half hour. Don't forget Vicky's Country Garden at 185 South, 600 West of Paul. Every Thursday tomorrow at 10:32, we will have Vicky's Country Garden presenting all the great ideas on how to make your garden grow better. You better believe it. She's got all the decorative rocks, soil aid, chemicals, everything to spruce up and dress up your property, especially going into this 4th of July weekend for Independence Day. Check it out tomorrow, Vicky's Country Garden, right here on our program at 10:30 tomorrow morning, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. Number to call, 438-5663. Also want to remind you real quick, let's see what else have I got to do here. I can do that in a few minutes. Let's go to the phone lines, and we have with us on the phone with the Rupert 4th of July celebration, Jason Gibbons. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Zeb. How are you?
Not too bad. I would imagine that right now you're standing there with your cell phone braced up against your shoulder with a corn dog in one hand and a cold soft drink in the other. Is that right?
I wish. It's a little early for that, but I will be here in a couple hours, so.
All right. Tell us everything we need to know about Rupert's 4th of July celebration with the theme, Salute Our Troops.
Well, last night was the kickoff night. We had our opening night entertainment with the music band called Drive. We had the fireworks last night. It was a great kickoff to the celebration. We will be continuing that tonight, obviously. Food booths are open for lunch and into the evening. Tonight's entertainment is a country group called Soul Patch. We had them here in 2013 and had so many people request them to come back that we've asked them to come back, and we're really excited about that as well.
All right, now I got to ask you this. When the fireworks took place last night, there's usually two groups of people at a fireworks display, the oohs and the ahs. Which group was the loudest last night?
Boy, I think the ahs were the loudest last night. We had a great fireworks show. The Rupert Fire Department did a great job in setting those off. We had tons of comments last night on how great the fireworks show was.
All right, now you're going to be going on with this celebration all the way through the 4th of July this Saturday. So what's going to take place after today going in through the rest of the weekend?
All right, after today, on Thursday night, we will have our patriotic program. We have a group who have put together that program starting at 6:30 on Friday night. And actually on Thursday night, the 2nd, is that patriotic program. So I encourage people to come out. We salute our troops, recognize all those who have served our country, and just have a great program. We also have the Jason Lugo Band following that on Thursday night. On Friday night, we have another group that we had last year called No Limits. We had a lot of people request them to come back. They play music everywhere from the 60s to today. And then that evening also is the Lawnmower Firecracker 500 out at the fairgrounds.
All right, now give us a little bit of the rules, regulations, and are you going to be racing a lawnmower? Tell us about it.
I am not going to be racing a lawnmower. You know, there's a certain group of people who put a lot of time and effort into souping up their lawnmowers and getting them ready for racing, and I'm certainly not one of those. But thanks to Joe Phillips and his group who put together a great group of people who can do that for us. It's a great event, a lot of fun. If you haven't been out there, go out and enjoy the lawnmower races, watch them go around the track, and it's just a great time.
How fast will they go, Jason? I mean, what are some of the top speeds that they can attain?
You know, there's a couple of different groups. There's a souped-up group that I don't know, probably 20 miles an hour, I guess. I'm not sure exactly.
Wow.
I've never actually been on one, but they are fun to watch.
So they're not much good at cutting grass, but they can darn sure make some speed out on the track.
They will not do you a whole lot of good on your lawn, no.
Okay. Now, that's going to take place on Friday. What about the 4th of July?
4th of July, that morning, we have our Firecracker 5K, 10K duathlon. That will start at 7 a.m. at East Minico here in Rupert. I encourage anybody who wants to come out. That's a great morning. Get up in the morning, get out and get some exercise. Support the fireworks and enjoy a little 5K or 10K. The duathlon's pretty fun for those who are into that. It's a 2-mile run followed by a 12-mile bike course and then another 2-mile run. So it's a lot of fun for that.
All right, now are you going to be in the duathlon? Are you going to run in that?
I am.
Aha! We found something you're involved in.
I am involved in the duathlon that morning of the 4th. That's right.
Okay, now you're going to get up early in the morning, probably about 5:30, and do all the stretching and put on all the fancy paraphernalia and everything, and you're going to be out there. Now, give us a little bit more of a breakdown as to what you do to compete in this.
Well, it's more, I'm not sure necessarily it's a competing event, but it is a race, and it is fun. I get out and run or bike in the mornings, most mornings of the week, and just looking forward to getting out there and actually doing a race instead of being by myself every morning.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Well, I wish you a lot of good luck. And then you got to clean up because you're probably going to be in the parade at 11 o'clock.
I'm not in the parade. I get to enjoy the parade. I'm sure glad that so many people are interested in coming and showing off their floats and other things that they've prepared for the parade. And thankfully, I get to sit back and enjoy it and look at the whole celebration and hope we did a good job for everybody.
All right. Now, what's the culmination of the 4th of July festivities this year? What's the last event, and what do you want people to take away from the 89th annual 4th of July celebration?
Well, the final event really is the parade. Once that gets over, the food booths are still open up on the square. We encourage people to come up and enjoy the great food that's being offered. But that's really the culmination. We figure that that's a day where families can get together and spend the afternoon together after the parade and enjoy being together. I think the biggest thing from the whole 4th of July committee is we just hope that we are able to provide a celebration that our community is proud of, that they can come and enjoy. And we're pretty proud of the fact that we can offer so many nights of entertainment free to the public. We certainly send out a huge thank you to all of our corporate sponsors and people who help us put on that celebration. We just could not do that without the great support of our community, and just send out a huge thank you to all of them.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, the old duathlon runner, Jason Gibbons, thank you so much for being on the program this morning, and enjoy the remaining time of the 89th annual Rupert 4th of July celebration with the theme, Salute Our Troops. By the way, I was going to ask you about the theme every year. How does the committee go about selecting the theme?
We get together as a committee starting in January. The first 2 things on our agenda is what's the theme going to be and who's our Grand Marshal. We've been accumulating a list. We try and look at themes from other 4th of July parades throughout the country. We just kind of come up with a list of, even 10 to a dozen names or themes, and we just start going through them and see which one we feel is most appropriate for this year and kind of come up with it that way. And then we've kind of accumulated a list of potential Grand Marshals, and that's a great exercise to go through to determine, who has served our community and who could we honor and naming them our Grand Marshal.
By the way, who is the Grand Marshal for this year?
Our Grand Marshals this year are John and Judy Remsburg.
Oh, I know them. Very nice people.
They are.
Well, Jason, again, go get your training uniform on, hit the street, start running and biking and everything, and God bless you for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. Please come out and enjoy the 4th of July celebration of Rupert.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Jason Gibbons with the Rupert 4th of July Celebration Committee. Thank you very much. Excuse me. You betcha, buddy. Thank you very much. Let's see. We've got to do the weather forecast, and then we're going to be visiting with an old, emphasize the word old, friend of mine, George Mass, about a very, very serious subject tonight, and we're going to talk to him in just a few minutes. But right now, let's talk about Scarrows Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. Your hometown meat cutter, where everything they sell is guaranteed, and they are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time. And they've got that hot summer barbecue special where you get ribeye steaks and New York strips and ground beef and boneless pork chops and brats. Oh my goodness, you don't want to miss this. It's great. Total of 50 pounds of meat for only $199. at Scarrows Meats. The barbecue special, 324-7657. Right now, here is the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zebeth Ranch as we are officially into July, which, by the way, tonight is the Idaho Roll Call Monument. How's the weather going to be as we move towards that event? It's going to be sunny and hot. It is going to be a little bit windy, but it's going to kind of be like being in a blow dryer. Out of the west, right around 15 miles an hour. Sunny, high of 95. Tonight, low of 60. Tomorrow, pretty much the same. Partly to mostly sunny skies, high of 96. Winds dying down slightly. Out of the west, right around 6 miles an hour. Expecting an overnight low near 61. Tomorrow, just photocopy. Thursday, Saturday, pretty much the same. Partly to mostly sunny skies, high of 96 with an overnight low of 65. And then for Sunday, woo, maybe cooling down to about 90. That's your weather forecast for Zebeth Ranch.
I appreciate it, and brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Scarrows Meats, really, really good. Wheels, is George Mass on the phone with us?
Yes, sir, he is.
Oh, thank you very much, Wheels. Good morning, George Mass. How are you today?
Good morning, Mr. Bell. How are you doing, sir?
I am fantastic. George, I want to say this right up front. I mean it from my heart that you and Donna have done so much for this Idaho Roll Call Memorial Monument, and tonight is a very special event. Tell us, first of all, why the Idaho Roll Call Monument and why the special memorial service tonight.
The Idaho Roll Call Memorial Monument is putting in for our fallen soldiers that gave their life for the freedom that you and I have. It's very special. A lot of times we take freedom for granted. You know, it's we had it yesterday, we're going to get tomorrow, you know. But there's people that paid the ungodly price of their life to serve us, and it's just, it's got to go in for a constant reminder. And I hope when the people drive by and look at that they'll get a little bit of goosebumps. Say, people give me this, you know. So it's very important.
All right. Now, there was a little bit of a flap over the Idaho Roll Call Memorial after it was built, and a couple of people decided that it would be in the best interest of not flying the flag at half-staff. Tell us about what happened then.
Our great Senator Cameron got with me after the flag was pulled back up full staff. He said, I'll run a bill through Idaho State Legislature. He did. The bill was S-1155. Damien Rodriguez, Gary Shoresman, and my grandson Adam Fowler and I went up. We testified before the State Senate and the State House and give our story on why that needs to be done. They passed that unanimously. It was there's not one vote against it, and they all thanked us for bringing that up to the forefront. I think it was April 24th. Governor Otter signed the bill into law. Signed the bill, and the law goes in effect today.
All right, great.
Do a special dedication tonight to honor that.
Well, now, George, tell us, tonight is the Memorial Monuments festivities, if you will, at the corner of Scott and C Street. Now, first and foremost, what is the reason for having this service tonight?
The law went in effect today, and I've felt, and the ones that's involved in this felt that we should get this up, get that flag at half-staff where it belongs as soon as we could, and be within all protocol that the United States goes.
Okay. George, I'm going to ask you to speak up a little louder. Don't let your voice go so low. Now, it's going to start at 6 p.m., and what are some of the things that they're going to hear tonight? We're going to have singers and speakers and everything. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we've got Mr. Zeb Bells, the master ceremony. Mike Brown will welcome everybody. Youth for Liberty will be posting colors. We got one young lady from your area, Gretchen Todd, will be one of the Youth for Liberty. Jim Hartwell will be doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and the great Linda Croft will be doing the national anthem. Pastor Dan Hendricks will do the dedication, and he will also sing the song Home. We've got two singers on this, two songs that's very, very appropriate for this. City Administrator Kelly Hanson's our guest speaker. We have the proclamation in hand from the governor, and Senator Dean Cameron will read that tonight. We'll be raising the flag at half-staff with some veterans out of Iraqi and Afghanistan war, and we've got one that's active that's come in from, I think, South Carolina. We'll be doing it. We've got, we'll be placing a family, or a memorial wreath at the monument. We have family members of Max Leon Bailey, Chris Workman will be represented by the family, and Larry Cottom will pay tribute to all the comrades of Idaho. And we do have the bagpipes that will be playing Amazing Grace while they are placing the wreath. And then we've got our buddy Art Smith sing Rugged Old Flag. And then we got Declaration American Legion with a 21-gun salute. We'll lead a string of doing taps.
Oh, my. A very, very impressive ceremony. Thank you for all your involvement on this. We did have a call earlier this morning, George, and people said, what about parking and what about seating? Should they bring their own seating?
Okay, we've got parking on Scott Street between 6th and 7th Street. It's right along the railroad track there by the monument. The city is going to block off that entire street there, whatever you need. There'll be barriers up, but you'll be able to get around the barriers and go in and park. We've got full access to that. We need to leave a spot open. We're going to have 50-plus riders coming in on the bikes to pay tribute, which is very moving. Seating, we've got some bleachers there, but the shade is very limited. And so if you want shade, you need to come early and bring your chair, blanket, and we'll have water. We're putting water on ice here, but have water there to drink.
Okay. All right. That's it.
Also up on the Rupert Square, the VFW will be selling Idaho Roll Call T-shirts, and the money from that shirts will go to maintain the monument.
Oh, wonderful. All right, George, that's at 6 o'clock sharp tonight. It's going to start right at 6 p.m., and we want everybody to be in attendance for the Idaho Roll Call Memorial Monument Service tonight at 6 at the corner of Scott and C Street in Rupert. George, God bless you, man. Thanks so much for being on the program.
I appreciate it, Zeb. We appreciate your support. We could not do this without the support of all the veterans, City of Rupert, and Mr. Zeb Bell. So it takes the community to put this together.
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you so much. Now, you've got to reach down into that billfold and pull out about a $50 bill because you got to go get your wife a very, very nice lunch plus a birthday present.
Yeah. I asked her what she wanted. She said just take that to eat, so we'll probably do that next 3 or 4 days.
All right. All right. God bless you, George. Thanks. We'll see you in a couple hours.
All righty, Mr. Bell. Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Idaho Roll Call Memorial Monument Service tonight at 6 p.m. at the corner of Scott and C Street, and I really, really do urge all of you to try to be in attendance. And again, our thanks to George and Donna Mass and everybody else connected with this. It was a very worthwhile project. All right, I got time for some calls. Please give me a call at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I am waiting for your call that I just know is en route, I will tell you a little bit about our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, they've got a great tire value promise, free peace of mind tire protection, lifetime tire and mileage care, and they've got a sale on many of the popular passenger car and light truck tires, like the Strategy for your passenger car, year-round traction, 60,000-mile warranty, and for the light trucks and SUVs, Open Country HT, all-season tires, superior handling, excellent tire. And don't forget the best brake value promise in the industry. Professionally trained technicians, free brake inspections and estimates, premium quality parts, the brake industry's best warranty, right there at all 7 Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin Falls, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You know what, Wheels? I'd like to do something a little different today. Are you right there?
I am.
You know that song by Toby Keith about the angry American? You know, we hear little bits and pieces of it, but after this morning in the first hour and how upset I am at trying to take down the Ten Commandments and how people in New York tonight are going to be burning the United States flag and trying to denounce our military and our police forces, I would really appreciate it if you would play that song in its entirety right now in celebration and commemoration for Independence Day, 4th of July weekend, and then wrap it up with some music to go to CBS. Would you mind doing that for me?
Sorry, the mic cut out for a little bit. As far as Toby Keith, yeah, isn't it the courtesy of the red, white, and blue?
There you go, sir.
All right, I can load that in right now and play it for you.
All right, you do that. I'll just say to everybody, tomorrow's Thursday, and we've got a full plate, everything on our program tomorrow. Livestock reports, we've got weather forecasts, we got the chamber report, and a lot more. And until tomorrow, right here on Zeb at the Ranch, God bless you and your family, the way things were, the way things ought to be. Now, here's Toby Keith.